And welcome to another awesome phoenixNAP webinar with our friends at Hewlett Packard Enterprise. Today we've got a great presentation. We're going to talk all about hybrid cloud or hybrid cloud aware storage environments, how HPE and phoenixNAP are working together to solve some of these challenges. And I am joined today by Matt McDougall. He's kind of a specialist in the business critical block storage segment inside of HPE. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone.
So we're going to launch a poll question just so I can get an idea of the audience, try to format our presentation to make sure we're talking about the things that you care about. We're going to start, with stuff around hybrid cloud. What does this look like in your environment? Are you actually doing anything outside of the data center today? And have you investigated, or are you investigating what this might look like for you? And then we're going to go to the second one. This is going to talk a little bit about, let's see if I get it to switch. Maybe. There we go. This poll is going to talk a little bit about, the challenges you think you might face as you try to architect your environment in such a fashion, right, where you can actually get the data where it needs to be. I think that's really what we're going to talk a lot about today, but like getting the data where it needs to be, making sure it's on the right type of storage to accommodate it. I think that these capture the majority of people's concerns. If you have any others, just throw them in the chat window and we can talk about them towards the end. All right, we'll close that down. Yeah, I think management is one of those things. Management, latency, and getting the right storage tier, and really the cost performance of the storage tiers that are available to you inside the data center and outside the data center are those chief critical problems that people are dealing with. All right, so what does this look like right now from a market perspective, right? This will be talking about kind of all the global version of hybrid cloud, right? It's like anything from object storage in a hyperscaler to a pnap service using HPE Alletra and putting data there to anything except for the on-prem. And you can even we're not going to talk a lot about it today, but you could even squint and look at something like HPE GreenLake as being part of that ecosystem, right, in terms of giving you cloud economics. So, I think the thing I want to take away from this is single cloud provider is a very, very small part of what the world looks like today. Almost nobody is essentially with one single public cloud provider, and really trying to understand for organizations what the concerns that you have as you try to adopt this strategy, right? And really getting the data where it needs to be, moving that data around, and getting it in the position you need it to be in to be effective with the data. Right. So now we kind of want to look at how this breaks down around use cases. The numbers obviously clearly add up to more than 100% because it's like, of the people that were surveyed, this many people said they use cloud storage for X, Y, or Z. And so data protection, DR, offsite backups in there, right? That's a big part. Putting data in a public cloud infrastructure, cloud storage model to do complex data processing and analytics, that is certainly a higher level use case. We on the other side, I don't know that we're seeing as much like consistent hybrid data management as people thought we might see. If 10 years ago, as we were looking at the onset of what public cloud might look like, and as people started talking about hybrid cloud as a concept, I think we all kind of envisioned a world where data would be more mobile. But ultimately, data growth, network capacity, cost of these items has all kind of scaled together. And so I don't believe we're in any better position than we were, years ago, other than maybe on the data management side, just being able to see where things are at and maybe make a thoughtful choice on placement. But we still don't see a lot of data just kind of flowing around between, call it hosted private cloud or data center infrastructure, co-location, public cloud, PaaS. Like, we don't see a lot of data just like constantly streaming around these in a somewhat circular fashion around these different entities, and more of like, okay, where do we want to put this data? Here, okay, it stays. And that's what this is looking like right now. So as you look at some of the things that might be in your way to realizing some of the benefits that an ownership versus rental, I guess is the best way to put this model, right? Hybrid, meaning, data storage that you buy and operate versus data storage you consume, potentially multi-cloud as an extension of that, i.e. data in 2 different public cloud services. When you look at, start to look at the different destinations that you might want to the different services you might want to use and the amount of data that you have to give to each service to make it valuable, right? Or consume yourself to make your own solutions valuable. You end up in very quickly complex environments where you don't clearly understand where you have data. You don't understand what percentage of that data is actually being used for something material. And you have lots of copies, invariably, lots of copies of the same data, which is driving up your cost and increasing the likelihood of some type of breach or data loss, right? Data inconsistency in that category. I'll put that in that category. And so, you start to get all this complexity, and you find that there are gaps in what that ultimately make you have costs that you didn't believe you would have before, right? And I think I'm gonna pick on AWS a little bit, but a good example is like, I'm using a Nimble array on-prem, and I move all my stuff to AWS, right? And the way they describe ST1 as being kind of hybrid and general purpose really actually didn't meet my needs, and I end up with a significant portion of my data on an All-NVMe version of a public cloud infrastructure product like GP2 or GP3 in AWS. And now I'm paying for things that I didn't really didn't come, they weren't apparent to me on premises, right? So like, I am using my Alletra All-NVMe on-prem, and I am using 100,000 IOPS. I see that, but I'm not paying for that. I'm paying for the storage. And when I did my cost analysis, I looked at, okay, just how many terabytes do I have? How much am I paying for storage? And that was the predominance of my cost analysis. And people do this all the time. And they don't realize that, that ultimately requests and IOPS and performance, having to use different tiers than you thought you would need to use, ultimately ends up in this like cost spiral that you can't really easily get out of. And then, all the things that you commonly use in terms of capabilities, like security and replication and snapshotting and all these things, cost you more services dollars than you ever expected. And so you can see how people get in the position, which I'm sure a lot of you are in right now. You're probably head nodding and you're saying, man, I know exactly what he's talking about. We did this migration. It performs as at least maybe the same or worse, or we ended up paying a lot more to make it perform the same as it did on-prem. And that's one of the problems that we're trying to solve at PNAP, and HPE is helping us along the way. So as you look to build out your plans for how you get the right combination of storage assets to meet your needs, it is super important that you establish a data management practice, both for data access and reporting, but also for lifecycle and security, compliance, and performance optimization. So you have to like tackle this at all the different areas, because the act, if you're in IT, which I'm sure a lot of people are on the call are in IT or applications, the data, the infrastructure necessary to run the data is not the thing that provides value to your company. It's the data itself. And the better you can give the company as a whole, many departments inside of the company, access to the data you have in a secure fashion, in a way that doesn't disrupt operations and performance, and for as low a cost as possible. If you ask a CIO, CFO, what they need out of you trying to provision this infrastructure for the company, these are the things they're going to be pressing business buttons on, right? Keep our costs under control, make it secure, right? Make sure we're not using too much data and we know where it's at. Make sure we have backups and copies of data. And and remember that if it's not performing well or it's not available, then the company is hurting. Like these are the conversations that everyone's having with executive teams all over the globe 24/7. And frankly, I'm a little bit surprised that the conversations have persisted as much as I didn't know that they would. I think that I kind of assumed, again, a decade ago, that generally we would be able to own or consume data storage in roughly similar economics for similar performance points. And that just hasn't seemed to hold true based on my experience and talking to customers of ours. So I'm gonna lead in the HPE team here for a second, put Matt in a good spot to have a good conversation. He's gonna talk about the upcoming block storage that's built on the Alletra MP product that's actually out now and is continuing to be iterated with some future stuff coming later this year and into next year, right? So he's going to talk about why, I don't want to say they ripped up and started from scratch, because they certainly did it, but why they decided to re-architect for the future of storage, both for operating it in a hybrid fashion, but also for making the scale and cost effectiveness something that an IT leader can lean on at the end of the day. And I think it's going to tackle each and every one of the things you see here around manageability, visibility, compliance and security, and performance. And at the end, I'm going to come back and talk about how we are working together, not only today, but in the future, to make this a reality for PNAP customers, and hopefully give you some confidence that even if you don't want to consume a PNAP service, that you might be interested in consuming something that's on the truck over at HPE. So Matt, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, well, thank you, William. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Once again, my name is Matt McDougall. I am a North America Solution Business Manager for general purpose and business critical storage here at HPE. Today, I'm filling in for my colleague, John Vidiello. He covers the mission critical side of our block storage portfolio. Unfortunately, he had a family emergency he needed to attend to, so I'm stepping in. So I'd just ask, bear with me if I don't have an answer for a question you might have today. I'll make sure to follow up with you and get you connected with the appropriate resource. All right, so I'd like to start off today by kind of discussing an imperative transformation that's taking place in our industry today, the challenges we're seeing businesses face with this transformation, and then HPE's approach to a solution. So digital transformation has become an imperative for every enterprise. And successful digital transformation requires a data-first modernization. This demand shifts to a data-centric mindset, understanding that data is the key driver of value creation and a key organizing principle for business success. So, however, to accelerate a customer's data-first hybrid cloud modernization, they need to eliminate certain things like management complexity, storage silos, scale out limitations, and app disruptions across edge to cloud that could slow them down. Just think about all the myriad of headaches and complex operational experiences that IT must deal with every single day. From complex management, current on-prem storage offerings are difficult to manage and require specialized domain expertise. This impacts the agility with IT tied up on routine tasks that are, opposed to higher level, higher value strategic initiatives. And it impedes the pace of innovation, with complex procurement, provisioning, slowing time to value for those new apps and services. When we think about infrastructured silos, the typical enterprise has multiple storage platforms or appliances with unique hardware designs and diverse management experiences to support a specific data type, workload, or SLA. And this really results in significant operational challenges and cost efficiencies at scale. And to those inefficiencies at scale, legacy monolithic storage architectures are purpose-built appliances and are unable to flexibly and cost-effectively scale out to keep pace with the growing and unpredictable demands of traditional, modern, consolidated workloads. Next slide. So, what are some of the capabilities desired by enterprises to solve those problems? Well, they want to simplify operations, move faster with a cloud operational experience that's everywhere, enabling them to deploy apps and services quickly and easily, not just in the public cloud, but also on-prem. They're also looking to increase agility and lower TCO by unifying multiple mission-critical workloads or data types and use cases on one storage infrastructure with one management experience. They're also seeking to maximize infrastructure efficiencies and cost savings at scale with the ability to configure a storage system that meets the specific capacity and performance requirement of their current workloads, and then lets them non-disruptively upgrade resources as needed. We're seeing, data-first organizations want to eliminate the trade-offs that require them to sacrifice critical capabilities such as performance, availability, and scalability for price. They need to remove the anxiety and disruption of unexpected app downtime and data loss with affordable, always available storage infrastructure and simple, seamless hybrid cloud data protection. So, to truly modernize today, our customers need more than a faster, more powerful box. They need to be able to break away from legacy infrastructure and elevate their storage experience with a platform that unlocks agility by delivering a cloud experience that's everywhere, maximizes infrastructure efficiencies at scale, ensures apps are always on and always fast, and eliminates those price performance compromises. And this is really where HPE GreenLake for block storage with HPE Alletra Storage MP comes in. This is an overview of our HPE block storage portfolio. So ranging from the far left, we have our MSAs for entry storage all the way up to our XPs for those mission critical applications requiring 100% availability. In the center here, we have our Alletra product family, starting with the Alletra 5000 hybrid flash arrays with 6 nines uptime for general purpose applications. And then our Alletra All-NVMe 6000 arrays for business critical applications, both of which are follow-on arrays to our highly successful Nimble Gen 5 hybrid and all-flash platform. And then sits our newer Alletra Storage MP arrays, which I'll be focusing on today. And then finally, we have our Alletra 9000 All-NVMe array for mission critical applications. Next slide. Okay, so HPE GreenLake for block storage built on Alletra Storage MP represents the first foundational step on a multi-year journey that we've had to consolidate and simplify our HPE block storage portfolio to a common software and hardware stack for block storage, with this idea of a unified cloud management experience through our HPE GreenLake Cloud platform. So, due to the robust set of capabilities as well as the architectural ability to scale from entry to enterprise, Alletra Storage MP provides a great opportunity to play in multiple different customer segments, use cases, and price bands. It's a new modular, disaggregated, multi-protocol storage architecture that will be the common simplified platform for all HPE storage and data services moving forward. Consists of standardized composable building blocks, compute capacity, switches that can support and or be repurposed for different storage software-defined storage personas and use cases, including block and file. This enables customers to deploy HPE GreenLake for block storage or HPE GreenLake for file storage on a common hardware platform through the HPE GreenLake Cloud Platform. And it's worth emphasizing that, a common underlying hardware platform for storage is no small feat. In fact, it represents something pretty unique in the storage industry today. So no longer do you have to buy a different box or a different kind of system for the scale of workload, SLA, or storage protocol that you're running. When designing the Alletra Storage MP platform, we wanted to ensure that it would be suitable for multiple different kinds of applications now and in the future, meaning running block, file, and in the future, object workloads at any scale using the exact same set of building blocks. And I think that's really powerful, particularly in the context of simplifying data management. The expanded GreenLake for block storage architecture is architected from the ground up for unconstrained scalability. It's got a unique all-active architecture with a multi-node, massively parallel design where data can simultaneously access all controllers and all ports. All your physical components are active, nothing is in standby mode. So this gives enterprises limitless parallelization with more threads for more IO to travel quickly to the hosts, optimizing the system for NVMe, delivering consistently fast performance and ultra-low latency. It's also a platform that tunes itself. So unlike some of our competitive arrays, where they have to constantly balance HBAs and resources, ours tunes itself for you. Latency assurance for multi-tenancy, and it's giving enterprises an instant failover with true active-active front end and back end for higher resiliency. So I stated this before, Alletra Storage MP is a unique modular multi-protocol storage platform that helps collapse storage silos, maximizes efficiency and performance, and sets the foundation for unifying mission-critical workloads on one platform. It's disaggregated, scale-out storage architecture. It's designed to enable customers to scale capacity and performance independently from one another for greater efficiency and lower costs. Our customers gain the flexibility to fine-tune, adapt, and elastically scale storage environments in line with workload requirements and evolving business needs. You can start with a cost-effective 2-node entry-level configuration and then scale up and scale out to multi-node configurations with granular performance and capacity upgrades. You can maximize your ROI with non-disruptive data-in-place upgrades without having to repurchase existing storage. So I touched on this a little bit earlier, but again, the Alletra Storage MP platform is really it's a platform that can assume multiple different storage personas depending on the hardware and software stack that your components being currently used in the environment. And it delivers a common simplified platform for either HPE GreenLake for block storage or HPE GreenLake for file storage with a unified cloud management experience through our HPE GreenLake Edge to Cloud platform, helping eliminate silos and complexity and improving overall TCO and ROI. We're highlighting a couple of the key use cases and workloads that HPE GreenLake for block storage is optimized for. The increasing amount of data today has the potential to usher in new experiences and outcomes while driving a generational shift in the application landscape. So to bring new ideas to market faster and respond sooner to customer demands, organizations are turning more to modern applications. Since traditional applications will not give way, overnight, IT has never had it more difficult and more complex deploying and maintaining double the infrastructure. So HPE GreenLake for block storage is really designed to power those modern, traditional, and consolidated mixed workloads that inevitably power the digital transformation with extreme availability and performance requirements. Differentiates us from the competition. Well, GreenLake for block storage HPE Alletra MP platform offers better value than some of the other storage vendors in a couple of different ways. It's mission critical storage for the mid-range. It helps enable a customer to start with a small node entry level configuration, scale up and scale out over time to multi-node configurations with granular performance and capacity upgrades, all without disruption and all while driving and delivering mission critical 100% availability. Release of mission critical HPE Alletra storage delivers a major for data storage architectures. It's helping eliminate silos and complexity with the industry's first disaggregated scale storage with data availability guaranteed. And this guarantee also makes it stand out as the best choice for mission critical enterprise applications that cannot tolerate.
Sounds like we have some audio issues, Matt, on your side. I know we're close to wrapping. Well, I'm gonna take over for Matt. Hopefully, he can get back up and rolling here. But
are you able to?
You're just still in and out on my side, Matt. Either way, I think what he was driving at was, getting all of this scale up, scale out, non-disruptive upgrades, right, is going to be critical to operating, this mission critical footprint that you can, rely on. And for me, one of the things that is stood out as we've started to look at this platform is how we can more granularly scale our infrastructure. Even when you're operating at multi-petabyte scale in a multi-tenant platform, right? You desire to be able to grow IO, network capacity, and storage capacity independently. And while this is not perfect model, there isn't a perfect model, it is much improved versus the monolithic controller model, right? Which I guarantee you, everyone on this call, if you're an operator, you've run into the, I have plenty of storage available and I have no more IO available. And the answer is, let's do an upgrade and refresh of the equipment to a newer monolithic controller with more capacity, right? And there isn't always a clean way to continue to operate the investments you've already made, right? Whereas this platform puts you in a position to do that, to be able to say, okay, I'm going to keep growing out without, moving all the data around, so that I can scale for my business and make it cost effective. Matt, are you back yet? All right. So look, the performance is ridiculous. And I think that for me, these tests are even done against their own 3-par systems, right? And so I think that, a lot of people would say that, nimble, 3-par, cost performance ratio, top of the line, right? Alletra MP has started to crush some of those numbers, right? And we're excited about, we got excited about even just the, the Alletra NVMe platform. And we're even more excited about having a long-term ability to deliver multiple protocols to multiple tenants and customers, depending on what their needs look like. And you can extrapolate that into what it would look like for you when you're on-prem, if you're still operating everything out of a colo facility. So great stuff from HPE. Thank you so much, Matt. I know the audio got challenging there for a minute, but ultimately we want to talk about how we're taking the things he talked about and we're bringing them into our platform so that you can consume them easier, potentially more in a more granular fashion, right? And this applies, to multiple different products as we continue to scale out. Today, we use the Alletra platform inside of our compliance and security focused VMware Cloud product called Data Security Cloud. There is a hybrid nimble option tier in there, and there's a brand new HPE All-NVMe Alletra tier using the Alletra 6K. And then we're looking at the Alletra MP platform as the future growth for us as we continue to scale out that environment. And as we look at the what we're bringing to each and every customer that consumes the platform, it's truly the ability to get a collection or suite of best of breed products, VMware, capabilities around Sophos, integration with our Fortanix powered encryption management platform, and great storage products from the team at HPE, all in a per vCPU, per gigabyte, terabyte, per network megabit fashion, like you would get from the public cloud, but without having to transform anything. And the reason you don't have to transform anything is because if you look at the architecture, it looks like what you would build on-prem. We've just carved it up into a multi-tenant platform so that customers can consume everything as a service and incrementally grow their business and scale their infrastructure in a very granular fashion, right? Typically, again, by the handful of vCPUs, handful of gigabytes of RAM, and hundreds of gigs to terabytes of storage at a time, versus going out and buying any one of those things as one big upfront chunk of storage or compute. And we're taking a lot of our practice and know-how and we're applying it to these platforms to make sure that it's taking advantage of the latest and greatest technologies from our partners at Intel, VMware, and HPE as we go forward. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we price this. I know we have some current DSC customers on the call. It's available today in Phoenix and Ashburn, and we are providing it as a additional tier of storage, and you're buying terabytes of storage and IOPS as a bundle, with the option to buy only IOPS if you need them above and beyond the storage amount that you're consuming. So it's really nice because you'll have a kind of a one for most customers, probably 95+% of customers. You're getting a sufficient amount of IO with each terabyte that you buy, 1,000 IOPS per terabyte, and as a collection of data storage, that ends up being quite a lot, right? In this kind of model, 40 terabytes has 30,000 IOPS available to it. So it's great for monolithic databases. Think of Microsoft database, SQL Server, think of Oracle, anything that has kind of a monolithic VM-based performance parameter. I think this is great for that. The hot side of modern applications like your scale-out databases could be RDM VMSs like MySQL or Postgres. And then if you look at like the hot side of some of the data storage platforms and search platforms like Elasticsearch and others, I think that it gives our customers in the data security cloud product access to a really high quality platform for a fairly low cost and mostly the ability to consume it in a very granular fashion versus chunk at a time for cash up front. So wrapping towards the end of the day, and then we'll get into Q&A. Together, HPE and PNAP are trying to build a collection of data center infrastructure assets. We're just getting started in terms of how we're working together, and we're focusing on the things that you see in front of us as our guiding lights. It is like that arrow as we get towards the target, right? Make it secure, easy for the customer to consume and manage, super high performance, scalable, and at the lowest cost that we can possibly get to market, right? That's what we're doing at PNAP. That's what we're focused on. And you're gonna see other HPE storage tiers and capabilities outside the storage realm that are gonna be coming into our platforms over time. Some of you may know that we launched the ARM instance type on the HPE RL300 in our bare metal cloud product. That's available today, and we've got a lot more than that coming behind the scenes. Okay, let me see if questions we got. All right. So how does it facilitate data management, synchronization between on-premise cloud, our best practice? Okay, so the question essentially was like, how do we what do we offer in HPE? Matt, if you're back, I'd love you to take some of this. Is like, how are you guys viewing kind of like the global view of storage data management from the cloud insight stuff that you guys that have been working on around Alletra MP and other products? Did we get you back, Matt? I don't know if we got you back. All right. Well, I'll answer this as best I can. Oh, you there, Matt? Can we hear you?
Yeah. Well, this is Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Matt's trying to come back through another audio connection. He should be back in a minute.
Okay. All right. We will take the next one. Just sift through some of these. Okay. Yeah. So what there was questions around concerns with latency between on-prem and cloud resources for storage, and those concerns are super valid, right? What we typically find is that our customers need to make thoughtful decisions about where they're going to place the predominance of the data that the platform or application they're using needs to operate with. That often means doing significant data processing, call it at the edge or regional edge, and then taking the summarizations of that data processing and moving it into some type of global reporting framework, right? And so there's a collection of tools out there. HPE has some, certainly HPE-centric versions of this around storage, but ultimately we're working with the majority of our customers to try to get the predominance of the data they need to operate with as close to the application itself as possible, right? And that's kind of what we have. And then I think it would be remiss not to say, while maintaining as the data security that you need to be able to be confident about where your data is stored and how it's accessed. I think those are the points I think are best made there. And Matt, if you'll just jump in when Dave, if you can tell when Matt's back, I'll take that from him. And then let's do one more here on my side. All right. Yeah, okay, so we could talk about that. Like the difference, someone asked about the difference in the performance profile of the two tiers that we operate, right? So when we look at the performance profile of something like HPE Nimble, modern versions of HPE Nimble, our take is that the majority of customers can put probably 75 to 80% of their data on that tier of storage. And you're looking at, hundreds of IOPS per terabyte available across the entire array, a reasonable latency, sub 3 milliseconds, somewhere in that area to the storage array, and is a pretty good job of latency consistency as you scale out and the IO scales out across the platform. And that's kind of what we see on our side. On the Alletra NVMe platform, you're seeing really low latency, like sub 1 millisecond latency, the majority of the time, up to say 1, and the ability to handle IO spikes much better than anytime you're accessing spinning disk, even if it's cached by a significant amount of SSD NVMe, right? You're going to have usage patterns occasionally that exceed those bands of performance profile and what is cached or not cached, and you end up with spikes in load that cause momentary disruptions in application, right? When our customers are using the All-NVMe platform, they don't see those types of disruptions. And in fact, most of the time, especially in the realms of databases and relational databases, you see significant transaction performance, whether that's high transactional, like write and change databases, or reading from databases for their users and their applications that are talking to those databases. So let's see if anybody else have any questions. If you have something, toss it in. If not, I think we're going to wrap with a poll question and the giveaway. All right, let's do that. Let's go to the last poll question. Martina, if you want to toss that up, that'd be great. Perfect. Take some time to that. If you want to hear just from the team at HPE, still click yes, and we'll get you in the right hands. It's definitely something that we're prepared to make sure you get to consume storage the way that you want to, right? And just remember, we're in the everything data center business. So if you want to buy all your own infrastructure and operate it yourself, that's just fine. Just come house it with us, and we'll make sure it gets all the safety and uptime. All the contact information you need is here. Matt, if you made it back, thank you for the job you did, even though we lost audio at the end. And we can't wait to do this again. We're gonna have a lot of upcoming stuff with HPE and be in a position to announce some of that later this year. So really excited about that, and I hope everyone has a great day.